morning, everybody. How you doing? So I got diversity and inclusion. Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right, good. All right, so the next one. So the objectives of this training: to provide a clear understanding of what diversity is and what it isn't, to raise a greater awareness and sensitivity to diversity issues that go well beyond the assumed categories, to recommend behavioral tools for fostering a more cohesive workplace. Next one. So, Mike, can you read that? Oh, no. You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Diversity is a mosaic of people who bring a variety of backgrounds, styles, perspectives, values, and beliefs as assets to the groups and organization with which they interact. Next one. So diversity, what's the difference between all these, or the distinctions? These two are pretty much legislative and have to do with laws that are in place. This one is more leveraging differences in the workforce to achieve better results. So diversity, just look around in this room. Is there diversity in this room? Do we all come from different walks of life, different socio-economical statures and all that stuff? I did. I was born in the projects in the South Valley, and that's where I was raised. And then I moved all over the place. So from the military to high-rise law firm in LA. So I went the gamut, but it was cool because you could see how diversity was playing a different part in change as the years went on. And right now that's no different for like where we work right now, especially with the population that we're dealing with. Next one. So this kind of just shows you two dimensions of it. This is your usual stuff for diversity, and then it breaks out into all the different areas of diversity, from your families, religion. But at first, this was the main. These here are the main categories of diversity, and then it just spreads out. Because next one. So and then it gives you all this stuff. So these are all the different areas of diversity. And then in New Mexico, is this like prevalent here? Do we have like a melting pot of like everything? I hear that a lot of times, but it is like a melting pot. So
That's because of the heat.
is it because of the heat? Outstanding, especially currently, right? All right. So next slide. So all these traits, each one of us, all those traits mean something different. So we're like a big bowl of Vic soup here, right? We're all in the same bowl together, but all of us bring different flavor to the job, different insight, different experiences that we can all share. So as a team, if we communicate and work together, it's beneficial for the Vic, because all of a sudden everyone's experience is counting, even when we go to sleep. So just stay awake. We'll be through this real quickly. So, to reap the business benefits of diversity, we must employ inclusive work strategies. Does anyone know what that means? Will, what does that mean?
So inclusive means to involve everyone, but just know that every individual brings a different, unique set of skills and values and experience to whatever it is that we're doing. So we're actually working with strengths of various people from various groups.
So when I first came on, there was a big thing said about where you work in the Vic. It means what you can contribute. Like you have Fort Hills, you have Central, and you have VP. I immediately told the team at VP that that's not true. We're all one team because we all deal with the same clientele. So we should be sharing our information, sharing what conversations we have with them. So this way so we can report it back to the case managers, because sometimes the case managers caught off guard. It was something that happened with their person and they didn't know nothing about it, but other people had heard about it. One example that comes to mind is Aaron. We had a resident leave the program like in a heartbeat. He got a job opportunity and he went. First time Aaron heard about it was when I sent out the movement that he was gone. So he didn't even tell her she was leaving. So that just means we have to be a little bit better at communicating and sending out details in our IRs. So I'm harping that to my teams now. Details, details, details. Because everything has a reason for something. Especially when we're looking for little golden nuggets on why people are acting certain ways. Okay? Next. Okay, so I read this slide and I'm like, food for thought, do I bring my full self to work? My ideas, my opinions, my background, my personality, my uniqueness. Here's the thing, I think everyone does bring that to work, but do you share that with everyone at work? That's the question. You can bring it, but if you leave it locked up and don't share your experiences and your talents and your skills, what use are they really doing for the team? So you have to be able to share all that stuff with everyone at work to make it better, because the VIC is good, but how much better can we get if everyone just has their input and at least we bring it to the table to discuss if we can do certain things. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Next. Benefits of workforce diversity and inclusion. Hey Mike, can you read that on the top one?
Improve understanding for those who work for, with, and around.
Okay, so all that means is communication. It's pretty much what it comes down to. The silent, if I say something to you and you're offended, but yet you don't tell me, how am I supposed to know I need to fix it, or I need to change my demeanor or whatever? All right? Because who here has never had a bad day at work or in life? All right. All of us have bad days, so there'll be that one day. There'll be that one day you're at work and something's wrong. People will notice it in you. I know I notice it because I'll ask you guys. I'll say, hey, something going on with you? You okay? And then we can talk about it. So I can be on the same page of where you're at. But we need to be able to communicate and talk, even if you have a bad day. CC?
I was just gonna say, a lot of it depends on management, because some people will pull back and think, I don't want to be seen as a complainer or something like that, so maybe you pull back and you don't really bring it out. So I think, like you say, you go and ask somebody. So I think, it's important to be included in everything, to see somebody's value to the workplace. I think that's important, but I think also management has to.
And I'll cover that more in depth a little bit later, but yes, that's a good point, valid point. Okay, Josie, can you read the second one?
Creates a work environment that allows everyone to reach their full potential.
So that's what we want here. If you're gonna spend your life, part of your life working here, don't we want it to be the best as it possibly can be while you're here? That's what we should be doing. I mean, I hate places. Who's been in a job where you just hated going to work? You couldn't get up?
Yeah.
I've been there.
It's stressful, it's bad for your health.
Yeah, you just hate going there. It's just like, it just hurts you in everything you do. And you're like, I gotta pay my bills, so I gotta go to work. So, we don't want the VIC to be that place, so we need your communication so we can stay on top of whatever situation is going on. Kyle, can you read the next one?
Provides multiple perspectives on problem solving.
Yeah. So, that goes to, everyone has their own way of dealing with situations. So, the biggest thing I've been talking to the team is, I don't mind you guys problem solving as long as you do it the VIC way. Know our standards and our procedures. So if you understand what we have to do as the VIC, not personally, but as a VIC, I don't mind you making this decisions for me, as long as you know that that is what I would have done. And if you go by the standards of the VIC, then you know that that's what would be done. So what comes after that, after you do something in problem solving? Communication. You always have to communicate with everyone what's going on. If you do something because you know it was the right thing to do and it's done, well, let the team know. Let your supervisor know. This way, they're not in the dark, and they can stay up with you at the same level. Better performance outcomes. Increases employee productivity, increased retention rates, boosts employee morale, improved customer relation, reduces complaints and grievances. It's the right thing to do. All that in a sum is, if we make this one of the best places to work, because we all can communicate without fear of retribution or anything, and your ideas are taken and our experiences are molded into one, we can make this place off the chart. But you have to believe that and participate in it. Next one. Oh, what does this research show? Basically, after you read all this, if you want to read it, read it. The conclusion is diversity enhances performance, but requires attention. It means you have to be in it. You can't be on the sidelines, you gotta be in it. Because it's easy to blame management and their styles and say, oh, they're not listening to me. But if we're not listening, maybe we're just not understanding you. So let's talk. Let's talk it out and see if we're just understanding the same thing or not. There's been times when I'm talking with my monitors, they're saying something and I'm not getting it. I'm like, no. And then they try to say it a different way, and then I'm like, all right, okay, hold on. Let's talk about this more. And we'll talk. And in the long run, they got what they wanted because they shared and they just stayed at it until they fully knew that I understood what was going on. Now, there's been times where I said no, and even after we talked, I said no. That's all right. We talked about it, and that's the most important thing. If we can talk about it, that is what is important. Next one. Another one. Okay. Does the research said. Okay, you can read that. But the conclusion is diversity should be strategically aligned with business goals. Diversity requires investment but pays dividends. And when we say it pays dividends, when we're all on the same page and we're working like a fine-oiled machine, who gets the dividends of that? Who reaps the benefits? Our clients, plus us. Because believe it or not, we are our own clients. We're our internal clients. Because we all have our personalities, we all have our own needs. So if we're all on the same page, we're making each other happy as a team, but also our clients feel it too, because there's not miscommunications, there's not stress, because I told my case manager this, but it didn't get passed down to the monitors. I told my monitors this, but it didn't get passed up to the case managers. And so they feel like there's